The Potato Eaters is an oil painting by Dutch artist Vincent van Gogh painted in April 1885 in Nuenen, Netherlands. It is in the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. A preliminary oil sketch of the painting is at the Kröller-Müller Museum in Otterlo, and he also made lithographs of the image, which are held in collections including the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Composition. During March and the beginning of April 1885 he sketched studies for the painting, and corresponded with his brother Theo, who was not impressed with his current work or the sketches Van Gogh sent him in Paris. He worked on the painting from April 13 until the beginning of May, when it was mostly done except for minor changes which he made with a small brush later the same year. Van Gogh said he wanted to depict peasants as they really were. He deliberately chose coarse and ugly models, thinking that they would be natural and unspoiled in his finished work. You see, I really have wanted to make it so that people get the idea that these folk, who are eating their potatoes by the light of their little lamp, have tilled the earth themselves with these hands they are putting in the dish, and so it speaks of manual labor and that they have thus honestly earned their food. I wanted it to give the idea of a wholly different way of life from us civilized people. So I certainly don't unregistered trademark want everyone just to admire it or approve of it without knowing why. Writing to his sister Elemena 2 years later in Paris, Van Gogh still considered The Potato Eaters his most successful painting. What I think about my own work is that the painting of the peasants eating potatoes that I did in Nuenen is after all the best thing I did. However, the work was criticized by his friend Anton van Rappert soon after it was painted. This was a blow to Van Gogh's confidence as an emerging artist, and he wrote back to his friend, "You had no right to condemn my work in the way you did," and later, "I am always doing what I can't do yet in order to learn how to do it." Versions. Lithograph. Van Gogh made a lithograph of the composition The Potato Eaters before embarking on the painting proper. He sent impressions to his brother and later says in a letter that he made the lithograph from memory in the space of a day. Van Gogh had first experimented with lithography in The Hague in 1882. Though he appreciated small-scale graphic work and was an enthusiastic collector of English engravings, he worked relatively little in graphic mediums. In a letter dated around December 3, 1882 he remarks, "I believe, though, that it would be a great mistake to imagine that such things as, for instance, the print the grace were created at a stroke in their final form. No, in most cases the solidity and pith of the small is only obtained through much more serious study than is imagined by those who think lightly of the task of illustrating. Anyway, some paintings in their huge frames look very substantial, and later one is surprised when they actually leave behind such an empty and dissatisfied feeling. On the other hand, one overlooks many an unpretentious woodcut or lithograph or etching now and then, but comes back to it and becomes more and more attached to it with time, and senses something great in it." Influence of the Hague School. Van Gogh is often associated in people's minds with the Impressionist movement, but in fact his artistic roots lay much closer to home in the artists of the Hague School such as Anton Mauve and Jots Visraels. In a letter to his brother Theo written mid-June 1884, Vincent remarks, "When I hear you talk about a lot of new names, unregistered trademark s not always possible for me to understand when unregistered trademark they've seen absolutely nothing by them. And from what you said about Impressionism unregistered trademark, unregistered trademark they grasped that unregistered trademark s something different from what I thought it was, but unregistered trademark s still not entirely clear to me what one should understand by it. But for my part, I find so tremendously much in Israel's, for instance, that unregistered trademark am not particularly curious about or eager for something different or newer." Before Vincent painted The Potato Eaters, Israel's had already treated the same subject in his A Peasant Family at the Table, and judging from comment in a letter to Theo March 11, 1882, Vincent had seen this and had been inspired by it to produce his own version of it. Compositionally the two are very similar. In both paintings the composition of the painting is centered by a figure whose back is turned to us. Theft. Thieves stole the early version of The Potato Eaters, the weaver's interior, and dried sunflowers from the Kröller-Müller 1/4 Museum in December, 1988. In April, 1989, the thieves returned Weaver's interior in an attempt to gain a $2.5 million ransom. The police recovered the other two on July 14, 1989. No ransom was paid. On April 14, 1991, the Vincent van Gogh National Museum was robbed of 20 major paintings including the final version of the Potato Eaters. For unknown reasons, the robbers abandoned the art 35 minutes after the robbery, and the paintings were quickly recovered. References. Sources: McCullen, Melissa. Van Gogh. London, Thames and Hudson, 1989. ISBN 1-86046-859-4, de la Fayel, Jacob Bart. The Works of Vincent van Gogh. Amsterdam, Muenhof. Hulsker, Jan. The Complete Van Gogh, Paintings, Drawings, Sketches. New York, New York, Harrison House. Harry N. Abrams. Distributed by Crown Publishers, Random House. ISBN 0-517-44867-X. Neefy, Stephen and Smith, Gregory White. Van Gogh, The Life, New York, Random House, 2011, ISBN 978-0-375-50748-9. External links: Van Gogh, Paintings and Drawings, a special loan exhibition, a fully digitized exhibition catalogue from the Metropolitan Museum of Art Libraries, which contains material on this painting, The Potato Eaters, Oil on Canvas, Van Gogh Museum, Amsterdam, The Potato Eaters, Oil on Canvas, Kröller-Müller 1/4 Museum, Otterlo.